Good day, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Today I'll be talking about what is the Good Friday Agreement and why it is important. Now, we've all heard recently about this, probably if you've been watching the news on Brexit, especially. So, why is the Good Friday Agreement important and what challenges does it pose to Brexit? So, let's first start out with what is the Good Friday Agreement. So the Good Friday Agreement was an agreement signed in 1998 on Good Friday, and which was later approved 6 weeks later on May 22nd, 1998. And it ended the nearly 3 decade long violence in Northern Ireland and certain parts of Britain, Ireland, and certain parts of Europe as well. And mainly it ended the Troubles, which began in the late 1960s during a protest organized by the Catholic minority in Northern Ireland. So it's organized by the Northern Ireland Civil Rights Association to end discrimination against the Catholic minority, who are also known as nationalists. And there's a lot of police brutality and discrimination against the Catholic minority in Northern Ireland, as Northern Ireland was more of a Protestant community, which who were known as Unionists. So the Unionists were mainly comprised of Protestants, and the Nationalists were mainly comprised of Catholics. So let's look at a map of Northern Ireland to see why it's important. So this is Northern Ireland, it's a part of UK, and then this is the Republic of Ireland. So um, mainly during the Troubles, the police and military joined in. There were a lot of paramilitaries. So the Nationalists had the Irish Republican Army, also known as the IRA, and also the Irish National Liberation Army, known as the INLA. And the Unionists um, had paramilitaries in the region called the Ulster Volunteer Force and the Ulster Defence Association, along with the British military and the RUC. So during this time, there are a lot of peace walls built in Northern Ireland to, in a way, segregate the communities in order to prevent the spread of violence, to end the violence. And it helped, but it did not end the violence, and violence continued. Protests continued by the nationalists, also referred to as Republicans, and the Unionists, also referred to the Loyalists, as they were um, loyal to the British Crown as they're part of the UK. Um, so in Northern Ireland there was a Protestant majority, and the laws um, written were mainly catered to them as they were the majority, and but Ireland was mainly a Catholic majority, and Republic of Ireland was the bigger part of the Ireland island. Um, yeah, so basically, Northern Ireland's hard border ended with the Good Friday Agreement, and this led to peace in the region. The troubles ended, and there was violence continued, but not to the extent that was previously there. So in the 3 decade long period of the troubles, more than 3,500 people died, and the majority of them were civilians. So even though the paramilitaries were deployed, the majority of the death toll took place on the civilians, with bombings and a lot of violence and tension in the area at the time. So the Good Friday Agreement was signed on in 1998, and ending the violence in the area. Protests continued, but mainly the government was set up such that both um, nationalists and unionists both Protestants and Catholics in the Northern Ireland region had power in the government. So why is this important now with Brexit? It's because of this border. This border used to be a hard border. There used to be um, a lot of security along these lines, um, because this part of Northern Ireland, sorry, this part of Ireland, Northern Ireland, is part of the UK, and the rest is their own country. And now the Republic of Ireland, which is this part of Ireland, is part of the EU, whereas UK and Northern Ireland wants to exit the EU, as Britain wants to exit the EU. So that's a main problem, because then there are different regulations for Britain. So they're thinking about having a border here with checkpoints, which would bring back probably violence and protests that were originally there slightly more than 20 years ago. And this is really troubling, especially considering they don't want the violence. So there would be custom checks along this border if there was a hard Brexit with no deal. So that's a no deal Brexit. So that's why Britain wants to strike a deal with the EU before leaving, and especially now since election, Trump was willing to strike a deal, US UK trade deal, um, regardless of the Good Friday Agreement. So even if the Good Friday Agreement was removed and there was a hard border between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland, Trump would negotiate with Boris Johnson and the UK. But now that Biden is the presumptive president-elect of the United States, he said that there would be no unilateral trade deal between the U.S. and UK if the terms of the Good Friday Agreement were not upheld. So this brings about a different phase now for the possibility of a no-deal Brexit, as a no-deal Brexit with custom border checks along this border is now pretty much not going to happen. So now they're thinking of maybe having custom border checks only for the UK, only for like the parts of UK that are not part of Northern Ireland. So Northern Ireland would be exempt from these custom checks. But in order for that to happen, there would need to be some sort of deal between the EU and Britain, which would most likely be in the form of a soft Brexit with no hard border between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. So it's something that's interesting to follow in the coming months and the coming weeks, especially as the UK, Boris Johnson seeks to expedite uh, the deal process of Brexit, and in what terms that would lead in the negotiations between the UK and the EU going forward. Yeah, thank you for tuning in, and I'll be posting more videos on politics, money, and other topics in between. And thank you for tuning in, and I hope you tune in for my other videos. Thank you.